Dirt houses are not pretty. Now, this is no secret that dirt houses are not the height of anyone's Minecraft career. They can protect you during the night, but they're never gonna be your magnum opus. But what if I wanted it to be? Today, we're gonna be trying to make the prettiest dirt house we can. And I think we can do something pretty cool. So, let's get started. So for starters, we're gonna need a block palette, and I think that we can make a little bit of an exception, and for our walls, we don't need to use only dirt, we can use all sorts of different kinds of dirt and some fringe blocks. I've chosen dripstone and jungle planks around coarse dirt, and rooted dirt, like this, in this gradient, and I think we can make something look good out of this block palette. So, let's start getting an outline going. So I've gotten an outline out of our darkest block, the dripstone, in a circle, and then added these diagonal squares on each side and an entrance here. And I think that we can actually get something going with this, so I'm gonna start working on building up the walls. So, let's get to that. There we go, we've got our main walls for the house here, and you know, kind of castle-y and with like the dome in the middle. I think it kind of fits the kind of dirt house vibe, and I think that the gradient I chose looks actually really good. I think it worked out very well. But I want to use green blocks for our roofs, so let's get that block palette here. Alright, so I think I've got a very simple block palette here. I don't know if I want to keep this kelp in here, but I do think we're going to need to find an alternative if I decide not to. So, let's see. Yep, so after further consideration, nothing but kelp really works, so we're going to have to go with this block palette for our roofs. But first, I want to kind of figure out what I want to do with the roofs here. So I'm going to pull up some jungle fences and some jungle trapdoors, since those are like the most dirt colored of things. So we're like the most dirt colored of the woods, so I kind of want to do something like this, right, and have it go in one like this. So we're gonna start out by building a bit of a circular shape out of these kelp blocks to make like a wizard tower vibe. And now that we've got the circle in, we've got to continue up. I want it to be a bit more steep, so it kind of does look like a spiral, like the top of a wizard tower. So we're going to start by figuring out the exact location of most of it. And of course, as usual, I'm going to be using a gradient for this, and not just layers. And with another 2 layers in, it's time that we just check it out and make sure that everything looks good. And now we can do a bit of extra shaping, just like testing out some extra things, seeing if that works. I think it's okay. I think we can keep it. Moving on, we're going to do a little bit of detailing using these jungle trap doors. Covering the underside, just trying to make it look a little bit more detailed. And right at the base of all of these supports, we're going to put jungle trapdoors to make sure that the supports look correct. I do gotta say, it is coming together from a distance. And now we're just finishing up with the final bit of the gradient, and there we go. Yeah, I think that looks really cool, and I think it really does fit the Dirt Shack vibe. And I think if we just copy and paste that on all 4, I'm gonna build it manually each time, of course, but I think it could look really cool. But we also need to do something with the center dome. I do think it needs some greenery. But let's get on to the rest of these domes. And there we go. We've got our green top roofs here, and I'm actually kind of falling in love with this build. I know it's not detailed on the walls, but these roofs I think look really cool. I want to go around and put these on the edges of all of them. Like this. I want to kind of do that. I think that will look better. But we should, I think this can actually turn out pretty well, and we just gotta start some detailing. So I'm gonna get some ideas, and I'll be back to work on it a bit more. Alright, so I've ironed it out a bit. I've made these actually look kind of supported now, and I've, you know, done a little bit more detailing here. And I'm legitimately really liking the look of this dirt castle, and so we have a lot of detailing to do still. I want to work on an entryway, and obviously I want to make it a little bit brighter in here since it's not exactly super pretty in here. But yeah, I think this is a very cool build so far. I think it could actually turn out to be a good looking build. Alright, so our first order of business on the interior a little bit is I want to make a chandelier in a lot of the same vein as Grian's diamond chandeliers, doing something like this but with dirt. So let's get some of that in, and I think a spore blossom at the bottom here would look very cool to the dirt chandelier. And let's actually replace this with let's replace these with brown instead of the white ones, since the brown will fit in better for being the dirt. So I think that's a very nice way to light up this area, and the spore blossom really makes it feel a little bit more almost dirty. I love the particles, but when surrounded by all this dirt, it does feel a lot more dirty. So I think this is a good start. Next up, I think we need some lighting in here, but there isn't a great way of doing it, so we're just going to start with a simple lantern like that, since it's simple, but it will light up the area sufficiently. Next thing we have to do is the floor, and I think that the best way of doing it is going to be just moss, and, you know, mossy cobble, maybe even some mossy stone bricks, some moss carpets, and even some azalea as well, so we can start sprinkling these in like this. Now, so we've got this floor in. I want to be very clear, my goal is not to make it ugly, it's to make it feel like an early game thing, kind of wild and stuff like that, and I think that this does do that perfectly, and I think it works very well with the rest of the build on this interior. And I still want to do some more like mossing and wilding this area, but I think so far it works very well for what the theme is. So back to the outside, I want to do some detailing and some windows, so let's get started on that. First of all, I think we should put a window here using this brown glass like this surrounding, and then we're going to want some of these trap doors going something like this, and we'll close it off by circling it like that. And I think that adds a lot, and I want to do a little bit more detailing to this window. Now, so we got some windows in, got these campfires in, and I think that it gives a little bit more of a shape to it, and we have these pillars holding it up, and I've made this entrance kind of thing. It's not perfect, but I think it does its job. But I think it's time we work on the top of this dome, as it really, really does show how weak it is. So I'm thinking we are gonna need some of our green blocks. I'm thinking we're gonna go with some of the brighter ones, and I also have been thinking about doing this. I think that that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So give me just a second, and I'll be back. And there we go, we've got a bit of green top there now. It's like kind of like a grass block, so I've left like dirt like that. And from the inside, I actually haven't checked yet, and yeah, I think that looks perfect. I think it will work great if we start hanging down some glowberries and vines and stuff like that in here. And I've been thinking this should probably be moss. Yeah, that looks way better. And here we go, we've got an interior built up. All sorts of greenery. We have a very varied floor. We've got some bamboo, some glowberries, some azalea leaves, some drip leaves, vines, all sorts of stuff, and we have this archway at our entrance. So I think it's looking great from the inside so far, but I think we're gonna need to find somewhere to put the actual base part of this base. So let's figure something out. Ready? Let's go. So as for our storage system, I'm digging out a hole in the exact center of the room right underneath our dirt chandelier. And we're gonna make our storage go down here, and all of our main methods of, playing the game, all of our main things, and the entrance blends in perfectly with the rest of the build as you use the glowberries to get back up. And here we go, we've got our storage system in place. We've got candles, all sorts of nature in here. We've got our chest here so you can fall in safely, and we have two methods of, well, no, we don't really. We have this one method of leaving, which is climbing the glowberry vine, and if you fall down, you won't take fall damage because of these waterlogged chests. And you have 9 double chests here with all of your necessary workstations, except for, like, I guess enchantment table, and grindstone and stonecutter, but you can put those right here. And as every good base, has a very great and accessible storage room right there. And the exterior looks great. I think I have succeeded in my goal of building the nicest dirt hut possible. So if you have enjoyed, do like. I've had a lot of fun recording this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I've never really tried doing builds like this, so if any ideas come up and you guys want to see me attempt them, leave them in the comments. I would be thrilled to try out some more stuff like this. It was a lot of fun to build this beautiful dirt hut, and I really think I've succeeded in making something that you can be proud of if that's your base, despite being dirt. So, hope you enjoyed. See ya.